What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're changing up the pace a little bit. We're going to be talking about some Valorant news. Yes, we're in the middle of a very, very big and exciting League of Legends offseason, but that does not mean there is not room and time on the channel for some big banger Valorant content as well, especially because Valorant is hitting their offseason as well. They're going through all kinds of things right now, like the entire franchising process, which I know League of Legends fans can relate to, but also there's a lot of teams that are done for the season. There's a lot of teams that have been eliminated from contention and are in off-season mode. A lot of teams and players are starting to get ready for what 2023 is going to look like and what their rosters are going to look like and who's even going to be available, who's going to be free agents. The roster mania is getting underway, which is super exciting. To have the Valorant and the League of Legends stuff at the same time is just about as good as it gets. But this comes from George Geddes. I guess he's with Esports now. I was going to say I don't even know where he is now, but he's with Esports. He's one of the better reporters in Valorant, maybe the best. I don't know. I know he's been in some drama with like Alejandro and Wooloo and guys like that recently. So, hey, we'll see how all that stuff plays out. But I do think overall he does a good job getting out a ton of news. He obviously has a ton of connections. He has like 65,000 followers on Twitter or something like that, 63,000. So, he's popping off. He's big. Valorant's doing well. He's doing well. He's got the scoops for us today. He tweeted out, this was yesterday, he tweeted out, Tenz could leave Sentinels at the end of the year. Just that sentence in and of itself is an absolute banger because Tenz, yes, he came up with Cloud9. That's kind of where he made his name in the Valorant world, and he did some very, very crazy things. He had some insane games, but once he moved over to Sentinels, that's where things really got crazy. This Sentinels roster, from winning their major title to just being insane in terms of numbers and viewership and trash talk and all this stuff, like North American Valorant is Sentinels in so many ways, and Tenz is a huge part of that because he's a huge personality, a huge brand, and huge talent. But ever since he came over from Cloud9, Sentinels and Tenz, they have done big, big, big things together. But on the other hand, Tenz is still a very, very talented player, and Sentinels obviously hasn't been getting it done as a team recently. Ever since they did win that championship, they've been fairly quiet since then, and not even making it to like the equivalent of Worlds this year is definitely a tough pill to swallow. And Tenz is going to have some decisions to make, and that's what a lot of people are talking about right now. Would Tenz consider leaving Sentinels, because he's obviously going to be an insanely highly sought after free agent? He's going to be able to get a bag wherever he wants to go. He's going to be able to go to any team that he wants to go, and his options are going to be super, super open, because if he is actually a free agent, obviously nobody has to pay any insane buyout from Sentinels or anything like that, so that's one less thing to worry about. George then also says in his tweet, he says his contract is set to expire later this year, so he will be able to seek opportunities elsewhere if he wishes. Sentinels will likely renegotiate if they make partnership. That's pretty much, saying if they get into like the franchising ecosystem, if they get accepted by Riot and all that stuff, which how would they not? I mean, Sentinels is so massive right now. They just signed Tarek as a content creator. They have Shroud on their freaking team right now, and Shroud said he would consider playing professionally if Sentinels gets into franchising or partnership or whatever, and if they want him, if they'll have him on the team, which that's a massive opportunity for Sentinels, for Valorant, for Riot, for everyone involved. Like, it just would make absolutely no sense for Riot to not accept Sentinels at this point. So obviously Sentinels, he says Sentinels is likely going to renegotiate if they make partnership. Does that mean that Tenz and Sentinels are likely to get a deal done if they make partnership, or just that they are likely to go back to negotiating if they get partnership done? Because if it's the second one, then kind of a stupid sentence. Like, obviously, I mean, maybe not totally obviously, but like pretty obviously. And if it means then they're likely to get a deal done, then I think that is just, pretty strange wording. And I feel like it definitely could have been worded better. We got some fantasy football notifications going off. But here's the article on .esports.com. The most popular Valorant player in the world could leave Sentinels at the end of the year. I know something other people are talking about too is like, would he consider going to content creation? I mean, this guy is massive. His streams pop off. He just sold like all those freaking mouses. His streams do really, really well. He's an exciting, fun personality. He's going to be able to stream and make boatloads of money for as long as he wants. So if he doesn't want to grind, if he doesn't want to play, competitive anymore, he doesn't necessarily just have to keep grinding competitive. He can be like set for the rest of his life in a million ways. He also has a fiance now. I'm pretty sure him and Kaide just got engaged earlier in 2022 or a couple months ago or something like that. So he has more life stuff going on. Also, I know there's been the whole thing of like he wants to stay in LA and the team wants him out other places more in Texas or wherever they're going. So there are a lot of signs pointing to the fact that he could just potentially end up like going to content creation or going to streaming full-time or something like that too. He doesn't even have to decide whether it's Sentinels or playing somewhere else. He could sign with Sentinels as content creation, or he could hit the free agent as a content creator too, end up going to freaking 100 Thieves or something like that. You know, that seems like that would be an absolute home run. But Tenz will need to re-sign with Sentinels to stay with the organization for the Partnership League next year. Sentinels, alongside several other organizations, has been in discussion with tournament organizer Riot for months, trying to get into the franchising. He will be allowed to negotiate with other teams in December in accordance with his contract, but Sentinels will likely renegotiate with Tenz if it receives a slot in the partnership, with the full list of teams still yet to be chosen by Riot. Tenz joins the long list of players and coaches who will enter free agency at the conclusion. Partner teams will need to submit a roster to Riot in mid-October to give the developers enough time to finalize the logistics of moving players to location of their respective international league. Tenz, alongside Sentinels, has built his brand to become the most popular player in the game. He has amassed an average of 24,000 viewers on Twitch, which is crazy, over the past 3 months, and garnered over 3 million followers. So I don't necessarily love this article because he doesn't really say a whole lot in this article, honestly. Like, there's not a whole lot of extra info. There's not a whole lot to go off of. It's pretty much just a tweet, and then like, hey, click on this article that says the stuff in the tweet, or like says, not necessarily even that much more in-depth information. Doesn't even talk about the possibility of him going to content creation or retiring or all the other stuff going on, which maybe that's because it's not even going to happen or anything like that. But I feel like the article could have been fleshed out a little bit more, not to like hate on George Geddes, but it's like, hey, I want to see esports doing good. I want to see quality content being put out and all that. And maybe that's ironic coming from me, but that's just kind of my observation from that, is like, and I know everyone does that, and he's like a reporter. He's not necessarily a writer or anything like that. Maybe they should have writers and stuff at the site, or people like me to follow up on content and flesh out stories and things like that, which can be really, really helpful, which I wish websites and places like that did that, because I think it would add, having a person to do all the investigative stuff and then having people, to fluff it all up and add to it that way as well. But yeah, I think this is an absolutely massive story. I think watching the Tenz free agency is going to be crazy, if he even reaches free agency, because it does seem like George Geddes is hinting at a little bit that, hey, they probably don't want him to reach free agency. That seems very, very likely. That seems very, very logical that Sentinels will want to keep him off the market, not have him talking to other teams, get this deal done. But they're also going to have to do some risk-reward analysis between like, hey, how much money are we willing to spend on a guy like Tenz? Is he actually going to leave? How good is our team with him? How good is our team without him? That type of deal. Because yes, Tenz is amazing and he's popular and he's crazy, but that's also going to be expensive. And even with him, they still haven't been winning recently. And just this whole thing, there's so much that goes into this. It's going to depend what Sentinels wants, what Tenz wants, what everyone involved wants, and honestly, what's going to be the best for all these parties at the end of the day. But yes, Tenz, the biggest, most popular player in Valorant, one of the best players in the world, could be hitting free agency very, very soon. This is a huge story we will definitely be keeping track of. We will definitely be following up on. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully we'll have some more big Valorant stories coming your way very, very soon. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.